My initial reaction to the nightclub fire in Brazil is we've been here before. We've been here before in the United States. We've had a similar scenario in Brazil. We've had a similar scenario in Russia. What happened in southern Brazil in the overnight hours this past night is a scenario that nations have faced before, and there's really no good reason for that because there are fire codes, building codes, life safety codes, all of which are international, which, if people are following them, should prevent this type of thing.
When it comes to fire codes and nightclubs in the United States, how does the process work?
There is a fire marshal who is a civil servant, and the fire marshal is tasked with enforcing the fire code. Fire codes are much more than simply about fire prevention. They actually determine the means of egress, so how people would get out of an enclosed space in an emergency, the signage so that people can see where to go, the flow of humanity through narrow spaces like hallways or corridors so that people can get out in time, because the fire marshal knows the rate at which fire spreads and the rate at which smoke spreads. And so the key is to get people out of those enclosed spaces before the combination of smoke and fire makes them unable to see where to go or unable to breathe well enough to get out.
So now we understand the process. Just how well is this process working in reality?
Well, in reality, it depends on the local jurisdiction and how careful the local fire marshal is. Here in Brazil, one of the things that I just read is that the front door may have been locked as a way of keeping patrons from leaving without paying their bar tab. That's the type of thing that no code can prevent. Rather, it's something that a combination of the fire marshal and local practices, including the bar and nightclub owners, they're the ones who have to be on the front lines of making sure people can get out safely in an emergency.
Stephen, anything else you want to add that we haven't talked about yet?
This story is obviously going to develop over the coming days as we learn more information, just like every other story of tragedy and really every other story. So I suspect that we'll learn more about what entrances and exits were actually available, whether any were locked. We'll learn about the exact mechanism by which the ceiling lit on fire in the first place. And we'll learn about code officials and code enforcement in that part of Brazil.
Thank you, Stephen, for your time.
Thank you.